Miguel. I want to bring in Mo Elleithee, Communications Director at the Democratic National Committee, and Sean Spicer, Director at the Republican National Committee. Okay, great to have both of you on. Mo, let me start with you. You just heard Miguel giving the latest there from North Carolina. Look, you have Senator Cornyn saying it. You have Paul Begala telling me last night from North Carolina is a must-win for Democrats. Cornyn saying a must-win for Republicans. It really could come down to this. Can Democrats pull a win off there?
Well, we feel pretty good, I think, about North Carolina. I think it is one of those races that is incredibly tight, has been incredibly tight for a long time, but we're seeing some really, really strong indications out of there. We put a lot into the ground game and into the early vote, and it's one of those states where I think it's really, really pulling off. And I think Senator Hagan has been consistently ahead, narrowly so, but ahead. So we feel pretty good. I think it's going to go well for us tonight, but it's going to be one of those that we're going to be watching, I think, fairly late.
All right, and Sean, the race in North Carolina could hinge on the African-American turnout. This has been crucial when you look at the state over the past two presidential elections. President Obama got 95% of the black vote in 2008, 96% in 2012. Kay Hagan's campaign, look, they went heavy on this. They didn't use the president, obviously, until today, which could be a big issue. But otherwise, they had 150 captains, as they call them, owners of black small businesses to help register voters. Do you think that could be enough? Did Thom Tillis do enough to reach out to this crucial block of African-American voters?
Well, I think it's not just that particular block of voters, right? It's every voter, and I think Thom Tillis has been around that state. We've got a phenomenal ground game in North Carolina, and I think we entered, if you look at where we were in 2012, the last election, we came in with a huge deficit of early vote. We overcame that. Mitt Romney won North Carolina by 90,000 votes. We feel a lot better where we are today than we did in 2012, so I'm pretty confident going into the night that we're going to be able to pull out a victory there.
Mo, what about the question, though, about this radio ad? The president just getting involved here at the last hour, right, for Kay Hagan. Is it too late for that? I mean, obviously, when you look at the state, this state is a state where when you look at the African-American voter bloc, the president has a lot of influence and a lot of power. Did she wait too late to use him?
No, I don't think so. I think Senator Hagan's been making a case on her own merits for a long time and been communicating pretty aggressively with the African-American community as well as all communities since this campaign began. Look, when you're a candidate running for office, you got to make your own argument. Having the president come in as a closer at the very end, I think, helps a lot. But she had to win these votes on her own. I think she is. I think she is running up strong numbers in the community, and I think that's going to pay off tonight.
Well, I got to give you credit. That's a good spin on why to not have the president come and campaign for you. Best I've ever heard it. I mean, people have obviously been criticizing him or saying, look, he's not there because he's not that popular. But you make a really good case. All right, each of you, I know it's not just North Carolina. There are other races you're looking at. We all are aware this could go all the way into January if you have to deal with runoffs. Mo, what's the next race that's the most important to you tonight?
Look, there's obviously a lot that we're keeping an eye on. I think Georgia is a really interesting state. This is a state that demographically has been shifting our way for some time. I think people thought it would be the next Virginia or next North Carolina within the next couple of cycles. It may be there now, where you've got very competitive Senate and governor race, both of which are too close to call in a midterm year. I think Georgia is going to end up being a battleground state for quite some time. We also have really interesting races in New Hampshire, really interesting race. We've talked about North Carolina, in Iowa, where we feel like the ground game has helped our candidates pull ahead.
Sean, your states?
Well, the first thing I'd say with respect to Georgia is, look, Saxby-Chambliss was in a runoff 6 years ago. There's been 8 runoffs in Georgia since 1990. We've won all 8 of them. So I think we'll be able to pull off a win tonight. But if we do go into a runoff, again, we've gone 8 for 8 since 1990. The idea that this is somehow a phenomena that Georgia is a tight race is silly. Like I said, you can't have that many close runoffs statewide since 1990 and suddenly think that there's this massive shift in Georgia. But I would agree that we are looking at Colorado and Iowa. Those are 2 purple states that we've got great candidates in, where we've invested a great amount on the ground, and I feel very good going into election night.
All right. Well, I'm curious to see how it's going to go when you both win North Carolina, because you both said you are. I don't know what we're going to do when everybody wins in North Carolina. Thanks to both of you.